Welcome back to Miller's Construction. On this episode, I'm going to show you a very unique situation on this remodel and show you how we're planning to attack a very common issue. We've pulled this flooring up, and this is the old flooring. The clients have new flooring coming in, and so what they've tasked us with is to replace the flooring. But there's another issue, actually two issues. This is our first issue. Now the clients are aging, and for whatever reason, this floor drops down. They told me that this was an addition. So take your tape measure out. You can see that we're at about 9 3/4, almost 10 inches. That is a hefty step for some aging clients. So what we're going to do is we're going to raise that floor up. How are we going to do it? This is where issue 2 comes into play. The second issue with this addition is that it's cold. It's cold on the client's floor, and they said that while eating dinner in here, there's typically a dining room table. You can feel the cold in the wintertime coming through that floor and affecting their living condition, their comfort level. So this is our plan of attack. This is the best thing that we could come up with, and I think it's a great idea. Essentially, we're going to install 2-inch thick XPS rigid foam insulation over the top of our current subfloor. Now, our current subfloor is in great shape. We already pulled up that old luxury vinyl tile. The glue isn't tacky. It's nice and dry. We cleaned this up really good. So we're going to put down one layer of 2-inch XPS rigid foam, and then on top of that, we'll put down 3/4-inch subfloor, tongue and groove subfloor. But we want to make sure that we glue the rigid foam down to the actual subfloor to prevent squeaking. Squeaking can happen when that rigid foam is rubbing against that subfloor, and we don't want the clients to be able to hear that. So what adhesive can you use on XPS rigid foam? You've got to be very careful here because there are a lot of adhesives and glues that will actually burn into the rigid foam, and you can't use just anything. This has been our old standard for many years. This is Great Stuff Pro Series construction adhesive. But now they've come out with a new container and a new dispenser. So typically with the Pro Series, we're using a big applicator gun. So when we're laying a lot of subfloor down, this is the way to go, absolutely. But if we're just doing a small project like this, that's where this new can of construction adhesive from Great Stuff comes into play with the Smart Dispenser. So what that means is we don't have to dirty up our Pro applicator just to put down a few sheets of this rigid foam and this subfloor. So this is really, really nice stuff. It's been our go-to. And yes, it is approved to install foam panels with. It's right on the back of the can. It says you can use it for drywall, subfloors, plywood, foam panels, and most construction materials, including wood, masonry, glass, plastic, concrete, tile. There we go. Nice and tight. I'm going to draw myself a line here. It's important to note that this is not an expanding foam, even though it's made by Great Stuff, the same company that makes expanding foams. It is not an expanding foam. This is a collapsing adhesive. You would not want to use something that's going to expand underneath the layer of subfloor or foam or whatever you're putting down. You do not want that. So you want something that's going to collapse like this, but you also have to make sure that it's approved for foam panels like the Great Stuff is. Nicely done. Kick that into place, and then we can step on it, kind of embed it. All right, let's see if this will fit. Bring the factory edge back towards me here. Oh, I think that's going to work. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and glue that. All right, now we're ready for our actual subfloor. So let's get to cutting on that. And I love that smart dispenser because it doesn't get clogged. That's good. That's good. Now let's go ahead and scoot it this way some. There we go. Okay, let's let it down. Now scoot it my way more. All right, set her down. Uh-huh. Very nice. Now, something that you're going to want to be careful of, you don't want to overdrive your fasteners, especially on the edges, because of that foam underneath it. It can actually compress it a little bit. So what I've been doing is I just back them off a little bit there at the end, because I mean that 2-inch foam, that's some thick stuff. But that Great Stuff Construction Adhesive holds so well you could probably take the screws just about back out of it if you wanted to afterwards. And we got a couple spots that are compressed that we're going to actually back the screws out, but we're going to keep them in because screws are still required if you'll read the instructions on the can. Some form of mechanical fastener anyways. But just something you want to be mindful of if you're going to tackle this yourself. Don't over compress that foam by overdriving your fasteners. Well, there you have it. All of our subfloor has been installed and looks fantastic. And now let's see what we wound up with. Approximately 7¼ inches, something like that. Now that's a step that is very comfortable. And this stuff, well, this stuff is just too doggone easy to use. It's Great Stuff Construction Adhesive Subfloor. And as you can see, 1 can equals 8 tubes. Low expansion foam reduces floor squeaks, adheres to wet and frozen lumber, and a whole bunch of other stuff if you read on the back of the can. Wonderful, wonderful product from Great Stuff. We only used 1 can on all of this, and there's still at least half a can left. So, stuff goes a long ways. If you have any questions at all, please leave me a comment down below in the comments section. And if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button if you like the video and hit subscribe. I've got new videos coming out all the time. We're always doing some crazy remodel like this one today. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. We've got new videos coming out all the time. We certainly appreciate you tuning in once again, and we'll see you on the next one.